Hello, everybody out there. It's time for the A Little Bit More podcast with Pastor Kevin. I'm your host, Lee, and I'm here to extract extra info that we didn't have time to get to on Sunday. I often distract as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm known to be a lot of things. Quiet is not one of them.
Quiet is not one of them.
So, yeah, this has been a great series. We just wrapped her up. We're going to kick off something else coming up next week. But I've been really encouraged by the readings that we've been going through. I loved how I don't remember exactly how we all came up with the readings of when we're reading what we're reading. I know it was intentional with Thessalonians and Acts and all that stuff, but it's been really encouraging. Our discipleship group has been awesome. We've been having a good conversation from that. Yeah. But is there anything else that you'd like to get to before we close this chapter on rooting?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I mean, this is a total just side piece, a little bit more. But as we went through the series, we had a lot of bad weather, and our electricity went out twice in Hicksville because trees kept falling on power lines. And I just kind of like chuckled a little bit because it's like, the root system of that tree was dead, and that tree fell over on the power lines.
Very fitting.
888 people were out without power. I mean, small town, but still, I mean, that's a significant thing. And so we were sitting there, just kind of doing our before bed routine. We were sitting in the basement, and all of a sudden our lights were on, and then they were off, and then they were on, and they were off, and they were on, and they were off. And then they just stayed off. And so I went outside. It was so eerie.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much like just electricity, whether that's through different outside lights or whatever, just make a little humming noise. And it was just like quiet. So quiet. So I look outside, I'm like, nothing. So like the next thing is like hop up on Facebook. So ours, I know for around here, there's a Facebook group, the Grable Leo Happenings.
Oh boy, I stay off of that.
Yeah, so I tried to too, but we have one in Hicksville called the Nosy Neighbors of Hicksville. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's the title.
That's more accurately describing what it is.
Yeah, and it fits exactly what it is. So I jump on there to see like anyone else out of power. Obviously, I kind of see the people around me. So all of Hicksville, some of Edgerton, they're out. And one person put, and I mean, they missed an opportunity for this, but they said, yeah, there's an electrical fire on Elm Street. And I wanted to comment. I had it all typed out, and then I deleted it. I'm like, that is a perfect title for a horror movie. And if you know me, I hate horror movies.
You should have just wrote back sounds like a nightmare.
Sound like a
Yeah. Oh, there's so many things that we can't say or shouldn't say or don't say because we're pastors.
But sometimes I type it out just to be like, in my mind, I posted
Laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
Delete it.
Yeah. But now I'm telling all of you.
Of all the modern day amenities that we have, which we have a ton, we're just talking about like being without power or lights. What would you consider is one of the things you would miss the most if it was taken away from you for an extended period of time? I thought about this just the other day before we even had this conversation.
I mean, I think probably the one that would paralyze most people, myself included, would be any form of access to internet. So whether that is data or Wi-Fi, just because you don't realize how much your life really is dependent upon, like your calendar sync through that, contact, everything is. So especially if you're jumping from one device to another, I mean, I think that's the thing I would probably miss the most.
Yeah. And I think because I grew up in the 80s that like I'd be like cool being off of it.
Yeah. I would love to be off of it. I mean, that would probably be better for all of us.
This is what I thought of. Trash trucks.
Bray would love that.
But literally,
he loves
think
trash
about
trucks.
it.
Yeah.
We put our trash can out one day a week. For me, it's Tuesday night. And then I come home from work Wednesday and it's just gone. Can you imagine if what you'd have to do with all of your trash?
You burn it. Right? And
I don't know.
Smell.
It's horrible. But I thought about, man, what a blessing it is. I'm going to thank my trash man next time I see him.
Yeah.
Because that's an amazing thing.
Our comes at like 6 o'clock in the morning, so I have to run outside.
So it wakes you up?
Hi. No, I'm up at around 5.
Okay.
But I hear him.
So you just go out
and
wave.
I just wave.
You and Bray.
I know. I can hear him down our road. I think I've said this before from stage, but I heard him from the road. I was sitting in there reading, and I could hear him down the road. I sprinted out of the house because I forgot.
No.
And I ran we literally waved to each other as he was picking up my trash can.
Oh, he's like just in time.
Just in time. Yeah.
My word.
Yeah.
So, hey, talking about, we're going through 1 Thessalonians 5 here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of stuff. This is what struck me a lot because I consider myself a natural encourager. I think there's people in your life that you can think of right now, like who's a person in your life that you would say, man, that person's just an encourager. For me, it's always just come natural because if I see it, I say it. Mm-hmm. When it comes as encouragement. If it's something negative, I don't. Yeah. But I always feel like how many more opportunities we'd have during the day if more people just, hey, I recognize that and say it. Because we all, I think even if your love language isn't words of encouragement, you still like to be encouraged. And I think Paul does a crazy job here. Just he's talking a lot about encouragement. It made me think he hung out a lot with Barnabas, who was known as the king of encouragement through the Bible. I wonder if Barnabas rubbed off on Paul a little bit, because I don't think typically we think of Paul as an encourager. Yeah. But when you read a lot of this chapter, he's talking quite a bit about encouragement.
Well, I think one thing our culture has lost is to be encouraged through conviction. And I think Paul oftentimes was encouraging other people through the convictions that they felt from the Holy Spirit. So Paul would say how it is, but if someone corrects something in your life, or they say, hey, Lee, you got something in your teeth, you're embarrassed by it, but also you're encouraged that that person loves you enough to tell you. It's the same thing that Paul isn't the type of encouragers that we would probably think about in the West of just puffing someone up. But it's more of he's encouraging them through conviction.
So which can lead to growth, really.
Right, exactly. So let me frame it this way. We talk a decent amount, and it's becoming more and more a part of our culture, our day-to-day. People are using it. It's one of my favorite questions to ask people, especially when I meet with business people. I ask them, hey, what's your guys' policy on AI? And it's fascinating to hear what they say. So one company told me that they have parameters. They can only use a certain AI, and that way the brand of their company and the integrity of other people's information doesn't leave their servers. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so we're talking a lot about AI, but I think, so it stands for artificial intelligence, if you don't know. But I think the deeper thing would be AE, artificial encouragement, in some ways, because so if you're looking at this, I know it's really cheesy, but if you go to the time period in which we see Paul in, it would have been on the coins in which they had the currency. It would have been on stones and rocks as they were entering into the city. They didn't have billboards, so they'd oftentimes inscribe things onto rocks. And it probably would have said something like this. It wouldn't have been in English like I'm saying it, but peace and security provided by the Roman government. Mm. So it's almost this artificial encouragement, this artificial safety that they would cling to. And if you read that with kind of in your mind as you're reading the text about Paul, it begins to make a little bit more sense of why he's telling people to wake up. Because you guys are in autopilot. So if you go to verse 6, let us not be like others. So he's talking about the culture. Let's not be like the other people in our culture who are asleep, but let us be awake and be sober. It's almost been probably a couple of years now. We did a series called Spiritual Drowsiness. Mm-hmm. And spiritual drowsiness doesn't look like you're walking away from faith. I think that would almost be a little bit more obvious, but spiritual drowsiness is more of the fact that we have gone into autopilot. I grew up in the church. I've already done my time. Those are the signs I think we should look for. And it also probably means your root system is deteriorating. Mm-hmm. So when you begin to justify, I've already done my time. It's time for someone else. Well, I don't think that's true. You still have breath in your lungs, and you still have more to offer. You can still be present. You can still say the right things at the right time to the people who need that type of encouragement, and you can still keep a rhythm of what the kingdom is asking or required. I mean, Jesus says to go and make disciples. It's going to take effort. It's going to take sweat and tears, and and blood, sweat, and tears. Isn't that the same? But it's going to take those things. You got to keep this rhythm. And we said this a couple weeks ago, but you're always going to fall back on your formation. So when pressure comes, you're going to fall back on your formation, not your ideals, not the ideal situation, not your hopes, not your dreams. That's not what you're going to fall back on. You're going to fall back on your formation. So the things in which you've placed in your life, that's what you're going to fall back on. So if it's your plans of retirement, if it's whatever security blanket you've put into place, that's what you're going to fall back on when pressure comes. And those things aren't necessarily inherently bad, but if your root system isn't rooted in the source, eventually you're going to produce fruit that's not of God, right? It's going to be artificial. So Paul is kind of pushing these people in a deeper way, a life that is truly awake. I think you can live and not be awake. It's like almost like a zombie.
Just going through
right?
the motions,
like all the
day.
TV shows and movies, like right. It's you're just the Walking Dead of people. But we are to be representatives, ambassadors of his spirit. I keep quoting this, but man, it is convicting me so much. Freely we have received, freely we give. And so we receive the Spirit, but do we just hoard that power and that wisdom and we don't share it and encourage other people?
Yeah.
So
that makes me think of verse 10. Like this is powerful. He died for us so that whether we are awake or asleep, we may live together with him. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just in fact you are doing. So these people are already doing it, but he's saying, like, keep it up.
Yeah.
Like, don't get stuck in this, like, and let that fall away. Keep encouraging, because it's for he died for us so that. Like, and that's where we're at here. It's especially relevant coming in to Easter Sunday in just a couple days. Really, we're coming into that. Where we're realizing the price Jesus paid for us, so that we can live life to the full, not just live life mundane.
Yeah,
like let's take advantage of that and take life by the reins and just really be passionate in our day-to-day living. Like that's what Jesus died for. Right. That's incredible perspective.
Yeah, and you were gone when I spoke at men's breakfast, but that reminds me. I was telling a story about how in college I got a C on a test, right, and I was like pumped. I got a C in this hard class in college, and a coach looked me right in the face and was like, "Hey, Max, Jesus didn't die for you to be average. Get better next time." And I was like, at first I was like, "That's crazy to say about it," but then I was like, "Wait a second, there's a lot of truth."
I bet you learned more from that quote than whatever the test was on.
Oh, 100%. I can't even tell you what class it was. I just was pumped. But yeah, like there's so much to that where you're like, "Wait a second," but then you think about it, it's like, yeah, we shouldn't just be walking through life asleep.
Yeah, and it's the whole piece of we boil down Christianity to I don't have to go to hell, and it like if that is your perspective of what it means to be in a relationship with Jesus, I think you literally miss the sacrifice. He did it so he could have a relationship with you. He's restoring things. His word says that he can take broken things and make them new. He can make all things new. And so if we've just boiled it down to I don't have to go to hell when I die, when I have this physical natural death, then we've missed it.
Yep.
And I've been kind of holding on because we probably know this passage. I mean, I can almost picture it in different homes that I've been in, like it's posted somewhere in their kitchen or
live, laugh, love.
Yeah, something like that. But rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances. So we can kind of pull that out. And those signs aren't bad. They're great. It's a reminder. But within the context, remember the culture in which they're living in. They're looking at signs that say that the Roman government can provide security and can provide peace. But what Paul is saying is like, no, wrong root system. Rejoice always because of the source. Pray continually because of the source, and give thanks in all circumstances because you remember the source. So it's just a different perspective of, okay, why do we rejoice? Why do we pray? Why do we give thanks? Because of the root system of the relationship we get to have, because of the relationship that's being restored, and the hope that we can have in all that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully this whole series has been encouraging to you all. I know it's been encouraging to me. We just want to continue to be in the Word so that our roots can continue to grow deep and that we can help each other along that same journey. So sidebar, whenever I'm at somebody's house and they have one of those signs, I will intentionally, like if it's behind you, I will put it into a conversation just to see
if they notice.
I do it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important just to be still
You know,
sometimes.
exactly.
Yeah,
See,
right.
you know it.
Yeah.
Let's always remember to live like Jesus and love like Jesus and live like missionaries,
Yes.
Kevin.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to do that. Hey, thanks for a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's been great.
there you-
Did it again. And we'll hopefully see y'all again next week as we have a new series, and we'll have a little bit more as we get into that. So have a great one, everybody.
Take care. See you guys.